Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today I am going to talk to you guys about how to build a garden cheaper in 2021. So we're actually going to even go out and go to some stores and talk about it. Now guys, I know the idea of building anything these days is like, makes you want to throw up a little bit because they're so expensive. Like everything, materials, the cost for building anything is so expensive right now. So, but when I built my garden, I built it on a budget. It was a budget couple years ago when I built it, and it still would be a budget for anybody that's currently building anything. So I want to show you guys and walk through with you guys on how I built my garden and all the different things that I used, so that maybe you can find them and use the same things, and hopefully that'll help you guys be able to build a garden on a budget. Now we're going to talk about raised beds, trellises, arch trellises, and shade cloth today. And we're gonna go to Lowe's and Hobby Lobby. Now I chose Lowe's, even though I got all of my stuff at Home Depot. I chose Lowe's just in case. I had some people say that, okay, I couldn't find any of these things at Home Depot, so I chose Lowe's to see if you have a Lowe's in your area, maybe that'll give you a different option. Now I put a poll for this topic on my community page, so if you guys haven't gone over to the community page, go over there, and any other things that I haven't talked about today that you guys want to know how can you do that at a cheaper price, then just comment down below on that poll, and then that way I know that, okay, this is something else I should make a video about. But let's go to Lowe's. So these are the planter bricks that you're going to want to get to make your raised beds, and these ones are super cheap. So it's only $2.98, and you really only need one per corner. The deeper you want to make your bed, you just stack these on top, but super effective way to make them. Don't need any nails or anything like that, any other building material, just these bricks and some wood. Now guys, I know wood prices are ridiculously expensive, but investing in just the wood for your beds is going to actually save you money in the long run, because you're not going to need to replace it as much. Also, don't just get like the smaller ones, get the ones that are bigger, like this. This one is a 8-foot, and it is a, I want to say like a 4x8 is what it is. I can't find the actual, oh no, there's the actual right there. So that's what it is. Not great with measurements, but you'll need, instead of getting like the smaller ones where you'll need 2, you can get one of these bigger ones and just need 1 to make your raised bed. Another cheaper option that I found might be a fencing material. So these ones, they're a lot thinner, but they still are a good quality cedar wood, and that should hold up your raised beds too as well. Just make sure you treat it with some mineral oil. Alright guys, so here's an example of building your raised bed at different levels, so that way you can reduce the amount of soil that you need. Say you wanted to plant something with deeper roots on this side that's higher, or even that side that's even higher, and something with smaller roots on this side. Now guys, building raised beds, like I said, the lumber can be expensive, but the nice part is that if you get a good quality lumber right away and use a mineral oil, food grade mineral oil, to treat it, and I have a mineral oil, I ran out, so I will post a link of it down below. I get it from Amazon. It's a food grade mineral oil. You just want to put that on there once a year, sometimes twice a year if you live in a rainy area, and it'll really seal that wood in. So I have not had to change out, thank God, any of my wood slacks, and they haven't gotten rotted. I haven't gotten any type of like bugs or anything like that eating the wood, because I treated it, and then I also treat it once a year. Now I don't treat the inside once a year, I just treat the outside once a year, but I treated all sides and even the corners and like the sides that are inside the brick. I treated that before I put it all together, and they have lasted me for about, I'm going on 4 years with them. And don't forget, like in the last little clip, you can make the beds at different heights in any different section. You just need to put the bricks in different areas. Now you don't need to put the wood slacks all the way down because it's just going to be dirt. So you just put the dirt, and then the section that you want to increase that depth, then you just put 2 more bricks and another wood piece on top of the dirt like that. And then that way you could have deeper areas if you want to grow like carrots or any type of taproot vegetables or anything that you know are going to have really long roots. And then you can grow other things in the smaller beds. That will be something that I'm going to be doing probably to my patio bed, because my artichoke I think needs a little bit more space. So when it dies completely back and looks like it's never coming back, I'm going to pour dirt on top of it and then see if that'll give it some more space in order to grow into a big artichoke and finally give me artichokes. So for the arches, you guys are going to find the masonry ladders in the masonry section. So the section with all of like the bricks and like the concretes and different things like that. And all I did was take these ladders, which are only $3.29, and I just put them kind of like doubled like that. I don't want to take this all the way out. So like that, to make a closer space for the plants to vine off of. My big ones are 3 of these, and my patio one are only 2 of them. Oh, my big ones are 3 on each side. So to make the giant arch, I put 3 on each side and then brought those pairs together. Now for my arches, I use the T-post, and you can get the T-post in any size that you need. I use these ones right here just so that I can kind of keep it lower for my fence line, but you can use any size that you want. And as you can see, T-posts are really inexpensive. So to make the arches is really, really inexpensive, guys. Now my arch trellises, I think, are by far my #1 asked question when it comes to how did you do that. And one, I could not afford cattle panels at the time, even if I wanted to buy one, and I didn't have the ability to cut them in half because cattle panels wouldn't fit in my garden. So finding those masonry ladders were like a godsend. And basically, to make the really big ones, you just put 3 on each side and then bend them together. And then to make the patio one, you just take 2 and then bend them, and then you use zip ties to zip tie the life out of everything. I do have videos on how I made my big arch and how I made my patio arch that I will link down below for anybody that wants to see a step-by-step. I actually make a step-by-step. The big one, guys, I was in the middle of the summer making, because that's when we do all of our builds, since the garden is a little bit died back. And let me tell you, building an arch in like 115 degrees, it was a bad time, but it's beautiful and I love growing things up it now. So another easy trellis is going to be chicken wire. You can get a whole roll for $11.97. And the chicken wire is nice because you can shape it any way that you want it. You could spread it out and make like a wall trellis, or you could wrap it around a pole. And they have all different types of chicken wire that you can get. So if you can get different heights. The ones I wouldn't get are something small like this because it's harder to get things off of. So something like this size or something like this also work really, really well. So there's all different types that you can get. And I want to say, even though I'm at Lowe's, it might be a little bit cheaper at Home Depot, guys. Now, one thing I forgot to look for when it comes to making just the trellises are going to be the poles. I'm going to take you guys outside so you could see the poles that I used, and then what I wrapped my chicken wire on, and then hopefully that can help you guys too as well when you're looking for, okay, what do I need? So you guys have probably all seen the chicken wire that holds my Malabar spinach, and all I did was just wrap it around it. I didn't actually need anything to secure it because chicken wire kind of wraps and you can kind of tie it within itself. Now on this side, it's held up by some poles that I then attached to that wood beam. Let me see if I can go on the opposite side to show you guys. So as you can see, it's just some clips that I, like the little handle clips that I put the poles in there and just kind of screwed those in there. And these have lasted in here, guys, for at least, I want to say 3 years now. Alright guys, so when looking at alternatives to shade cloth, tulle is one. Now it's something you definitely want to double up so that it's kind of protecting a little bit more from the sun. And I also would get probably like a darker color too as well. But at $1.29 a pound, or $1.29 a yard, that's helpful. Now one that's going to be the best is burlap. Now burlap is only $3.99 a yard, and this one is going to be the best alternative to shade cloth. Now for the shade cloth, I am in the midst of, well, mostly Mr. Benson is in the midst of building out a structure. Since the cost of wood is so expensive, we've kind of just done it in sections, and it's going to be a lot easier if you build out a frame. Frames can be, building the frame can be really expensive. I mean, we're not doing it all at once, so I'm going to show you a couple alternatives on how to kind of hook those things up there. Now when it comes to hanging up your shade cloth, the cheapest thing I found were those hooks that you get at the Dollar Tree. They're only $1, and they also can double as a pot holder, so that then you can put your pot on it and put whatever you want to put in there, but then at the top you can hold your chicken wire, or hold your shade cloth. So mine, as you can see, is held to the brick wall completely like that. Now when it comes to my wood pieces, it's held up by just some thumbnails. So basically I just put thumbnails in here, and then that's what holds the shade cloth out here. Eventually when I pull the tomatoes, I'm going to put the shade cloth on the top of that frame, and then that way it'll be on the top of the frame and then halfway down each one of the sides to kind of provide more shade for the bed inside of there. Right now I'm not too concerned about it because it's not completely hot all the way through the day, so I'm kind of waiting for Monday when I pull that big tomato plant out, because oh guys, it is officially passed away. And now I'm just waiting for harvest day so that I can get the last of the red tomatoes, because there are a bunch of little red tomatoes that are in the midst of turning, and every day they get a little bit darker and darker. So I'm like, we'll just let them ripen, and then that big boy is coming out and I have to cover up all of the okra. So I hope that helps you guys. Like I said, if you have other questions, put them on the community page, and then that way I can know what other videos I should be making on this topic. I know that building a garden is super expensive, but it is cheaper in the long run, guys. And that's something that I had to kind of realize as I was building my garden, is I wanted to build it quality at an inexpensive price, but still quality to where that then I could have it over a longer period of time. So just remember that when you're building your garden, you're putting it together, that your garden is going to provide you a lot of food. My garden has saved me so much money when it comes to being able to not have to go to the grocery store and buy vegetables at the grocery store. I've grown a lot in my garden, and the more little spaces you can pack in there, the more you can grow. And also being able to sell things out of my garden too. Even though I have a small space, I've been able to sell herb butters and different herbs to my neighbors throughout the time that I've had my garden. So don't get discouraged. It's gonna be okay. We're all gonna get through this, and I know you guys are gonna have amazing gardens. Also, don't forget to subscribe and put a comment down below just of one thing that maybe you didn't do in your garden that you're going to change, because I'll enter you into win our giveaway, our 10K giveaway, and go over to IG and follow Mighty Crop, who is our sponsor. But until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.